That's Chicago. You might say, what's he doing here and what's he doing on a boat? I'm actually on the boat to show you Chicago. And the reason I'm here isn't really Chicago, it's only part of it. I'm here for Route 66, the most famous road in the world. How many other roads do you know that people sing about? And it's just one of those magical places that you always long to see. Ever since I was a wee boy in Glasgow, I fantasised about getting my kicks on Route 66.
Oh my God!
To me, it was a magic trail heading west through the heart of America into the land of broken dreams and Hollywood endings. The highway that built a continent, defined a nation, running from Chicago to LA. Route 66 is the story of America, written by the people, for the people, over 8 states and 2,500 miles.
I love that.
It's a tale in tarmac of presidents and paupers, cowboys and Indians, diners and drive-thrus, framed in a landscape from 100 movies with the soundtrack of the greatest music in the world. Rock and roll. Sounds good, doesn't it? Oh my God.
Whoa!
We're going to have lots of fun. Meet lots of people, see lots of nice things. Come with me. Come on, I dare you. If you come with me, I'll do dirty things.
Well, it goes from St. Louis, down from Missouri, Oklahoma City looks so pretty, you see. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Warsaw, San Bernardino. Won't you get your kicks on Route 66?
The first leg of my trip was through the great state of Illinois, home to Abraham Lincoln, real soul music, secret Amish communities and devastating tornadoes. And it all starts here in one of my favourite cities in the world.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
This is Chicago, the Windy City. Soaring above Lake Michigan, these grand canyons of concrete and steel make for a hard and handsome place. It's the city that gave us Al Capone, President Obama, and of course, the blues.
Way past 21.
Once a wild frontier town, it grew rich and taller when it became the engine of America's expansion into the West. And there could be no more fitting start to a road they called the Main Street of America.
Yo-ho! Chicago's a rather beautiful place. It's funny, people, when you mention Chicago, they never mention beautiful. But once you've been here and you see the architecture, it really is a mind bender. And I'll tell you the reason for that. There was a huge fire in 1871. The place was kind of made of wood before that. It was all wooden buildings. And in 1871, the whole thing burned down. The entire place. All that was left was a water tower. I'll show you it later. We'll find it down here and I'll show you the water tower. It's still there. How are you? Little taxi driver likes my bike. I think this is the water tower here. It looks like a wee white church with a tower. But this was all that was left after the Great Fire. Now you can hardly see it, it's so swamped. And that's why Chicago is such a nice looking town, because they started again in 1871.
Chicago's attitude to architecture is breathtaking. Even in this economic climate, they've recently built 40 new skyscrapers. Sometimes they get it so right, and sometimes, well, stick around, see what you think.
We're coming up to the Chicago Tribune building. If you look at it, see these vertical stripes? That was supposed to give it height. Look at it, it's like King Arthur's castle. Now, the owner of this building in the old days, his name was Colonel McCormick, and he'd been to Ypres, where the battle was in the First World War. That one that the old British guys used to call wipers, Y-P-R-E-S. And he found a bit of stone that had been blown off the cathedral by the Germans in the war, and he kept it as a souvenir. And then he got the idea he would collect more bits of famous buildings, and he instructed his staff, wherever they were, by well-mannered means to collect pieces of famous buildings. And it's one of my favourite things. I'll show you along here. Now, what they do with the stones is this. There's a look, Edinburgh Castle. This is a wee bit of Edinburgh Castle. So how they managed to get a big chunk like that with well-mannered means from Edinburgh Castle, I don't know. Notre Dame, Fort Santiago. See them, all the different ones. Ah, there it is, my favourite. Indian Joe's Cave. Mark Twain, my ultimate hero. All these stones, how did they get them by well-mannered means? See, this used to be my favourite corner. Come in, I'll show you where that bugger spoiled it. I used to come to here. You see that nice white building, right round like that? And then Trump stuck that thing in the middle. Trump pulled down the Chicago Sun building and built that piece of shit. Bum. He wants to be the president. The place would be a toilet if he became a president.
Chicago's probably more famous for one thing than any other: gangsters. During the Roaring '20s, newspapers all over the world were full of tales of wild gunfights and even wilder parties, all fueled by illegal moonshine. Just across from the whiskey-laden Canada and at the heart of the nation's rail and road networks, Chicago was perfectly located to become the crucible of organised crime in America. And it was all presided over by one man, Al Capone, who ran his empire from the top of this very building.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
Speakeasy. You have to go to a speakeasy if you're in Chicago. Now, I know this isn't what you expected. Big flash of this, a restaurant now, but speakeasies were like this. They were restaurants and fancy places at the front. It wasn't always that wee door that you knock and a wee square window. Who are you? Who sent you? They had fronts like this. And this one's actually been done up at the moment, but it's pretty much the same shape as it used to be in the 20s. Because in 1920, America made a criminal mistake, and they answered to the Christian Temperance Society and shut down boozers everywhere. Every pub was shut. It was illegal to make, sell, or transport alcohol. And as a result, you know, everybody needs a wee drinky poo. These speakeasies sprung up. This would be like this, of course. You get in, you're out of the restaurant now, you're into the boozer. And as you move further on, it becomes more and more secretive and much more interesting. If the cops came, you're gone.
The world's in slumber, let's misbehave.
And you know, in the middle of all that prohibition, Al Capone, how people believed him, I'll never know. This was a guy in his 20s with a big scar on his face. He convinced the authorities to sell non-alcoholic beer. So he made gallons and gallons, barrels of non-alcoholic beer, had them delivered to here. As soon as the police had inspected it, his mates would show up with the big veterinarian syringes that you usually shove up elephants' bums, full of ethanol, pure liquid, pure alcohol, into the barrel, and off we go again. Da-da, happy days are here again. But you know the funniest thing? The legacy that Al Capone left has got nothing to do with booze. It's the sell-by date on a bottle of milk. It was during the Depression, the schools were bankrupt, the public schools. He donated $1 million for milk for the school children, but insisted that the date was put on the bottle because he hated the sour milk he was given to drink as a child. And that exists to this day. Isn't that the strangest thing? There are plenty of bigger cities than Chicago in the world, but there are few taller. This is the skyscraper capital of the world. So brace yourself, it doesn't get much higher than this. Standing at 1,450 feet, this is the Willis Tower. You might remember it as the Sears Tower, the tallest building in America.
Welcome to the top.
This has got the most spectacular views. That's Chicago. You know, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to be a real daredevil here. Now, this is a real heart shaker. See this wee cubicle here? The floor is made of glass. So for 110 stories up, this is the creepiest feeling you'll ever witness. It's straight down 110 stories to the street. There's something inside you says, don't, get off. But I've always liked heights ever since I was a wee boy. Now, where those yellow taxis are in that street there, that's Route 66. If you have a chance to motor west, take the highway, that's my way, we love bears. Get your kicks on Route 66. Listen, do you hear that? It's a train. The loneliest noise in the world. Seldom in your life will you see Route 66 from this angle. That's Route 66. And that's the way we'll be heading out west. California, here I come. I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles.
How you doing there?
The thing that makes Route 66 unique is it's a road with its own soundtrack. Some call it the blues, others call it soul. Me, I call it rock and roll. That's why I can't leave Chicago before going to Bronzeville. Between the end of the First World War and the 1930s, tens of thousands of black men and women flocked to this Chicago suburb to escape the racism of the South. These are the very streets that Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf turned the blues electric and gave birth to rock and roll.
I should have quit you a long time ago.
But that's not the only music that was born in Bronzeville. Now, you may find this a bit difficult to believe, but I'm going to church this morning. It's a completely new experience for me for many, many, many years. And this is the Quinn Chapel, which is a very famous place. It's the oldest black congregation in America. It's been here since the 1850s. And the congregation used to be mostly freed slaves and abolitionists. And I didn't realize at its height, the slavery industry, if you like to call it, had 4 million people, men, women, and children.
We thank you, God, that this morning you rose with all power in your hand.
But the most important thing about this place is this is where gospel music really began in America. Before its abolition 150 years ago, escaped slaves would flee to this very chapel in the hope of finding a new and better life. What I find amazing, though, is that even as recently as when I was a little boy in Glasgow, people in this room were still refused the right to vote. There is a palpable joy of community in this chapel. And it's that, plus the long shadow of racism, that local artist Preston Jackson tackles in his work about Bronzeville.
Beautiful accent. I don't know why it is that I'm so turned on by that. It's music to me. You know?
Oh, thanks very much. It's the only one I've got.
Yeah.
I'll change it as soon as I find a better one.
Okay.
Can I have a look at your work, please?
Sure. These are all bronze cast, and they're not hollow, so that, you know, there's a lot of weight to the whole thing.
I love this. I don't know what it is about this guy. He's so alive.
Yeah. He's kind of
I think it's his tie that's doing it.
Yeah, wind blowing. He's cool. And she's saying, please, don't talk to me. I'm busy. You know, I gotta make some money here. You know? With your trifling ass, you know.
I love these dense cast bronze pieces. There's a real sense of pride in what they're portraying. But not everyone feels the same way I do.
Some of the work may rub people the wrong way, or it's never been politically incorrect, you know.
But rubbing people the wrong way is a good thing, I think.
I think so too. You know, here in America, we definitely still have problems. You know, that we have to address. I mean, even the president today, you know, he really underestimated the effects of racism and how deep that runs.
Yes, I underestimated it too.
Yeah, right.
As a child in the 50s, Preston remembers taking family vacations to the south. But to get there, they had to use a travel guidebook unlike any other you've ever heard of. And what's the Green Book?
If you were going to travel anywhere out of your neighborhood or anywhere, you better study that Green Book, because that Green Book told you where you can sleep, where you can eat, where you can, the black doctors that are in a particular town, what not to do, where not to go, and places that, you know, just your appearance after sun go down, not to be there. Many times it saved your life, you know. If a town was like Anna, Illinois, it was spelled A-N-N-A, ain't no niggas around. Yeah.
What?
That was the name of the city. So it was very helpful.
That takes my breath away. I remember reading that Nat King Cole, when he was playing Vegas, couldn't live in the hotel he was playing. And I met Natalie Cole. Yeah. And I said, I was reading about your dad, and he couldn't He couldn't live in the hotel. She said he couldn't go in the front door. He had to go in the kitchen.
That's right. Then he got his own TV
Nat King
show.
Cole, for God's sake.
I mean, rock and roll came from right down the street.
Yes.
All of that stuff happened there.
I was saying rock and roll is black.
Yeah,
It
man.
wasn't, Pat Boone had very little to do with it.
Oh, what? You know.
Tutti frutti. Yeah. Oh, rooty. That's what I said.
That was so funny.
I said it on film. I said, have you ever heard Pat Boone doing Tutti Frutti? And he obviously doesn't know what it means.
I know it, man.
Because he's got his Bible in one hand going, Tutti Frutti. Oh, rooty.
That was so damn funny, you know.
Wasn't it brilliant?
Oh, man. And when the twist came in, you know, and he was like this. You know? Oh, man.
That's Chicago. It ain't London, it ain't Paris, but it is all American, alive from snout to tail, and I love that. But now, well, it's time for me to saddle up and hit the road.
Got my helmet with my little microphone, got my jacket, got my chaps with a nice cool crutch for the hot work. Just about to go on Route 66, a life's ambition of mine. Come along with me, we'll have a laugh, we'll see things we'll never forget, see things we'll never want to remember, I would imagine. I've no idea what we're going to see, but we're going to Pontiac today. I don't know where it is, but we'll be there. See you later. Route 66, begin.
There are no two ways about it. If you want to feel like you're in a movie, hit the open road, because as soon as that horizon opens up, you're in your own VistaVision heaven. At long last, you too can feel like Peter Fonda in Easy Rider. But don't expect an easy time of it. I'm heading into tornado country. The forecast is bad, and I've got a feeling my ventilated chaps might prove to be no match for that kind of weather.
Now, if you've never seen a giant, you're about to see one now. He lives just up the road here. It's the silliest story you ever heard. There he is. I'd like you to meet Gemini the Giant. He came here in 1965. The guy who owned this place, the Launching Pad, I don't know if the place is called the Launching Pad because of Gemini, or if Gemini is called Gemini because of the Launching Pad. But there was a restaurant convention, and the guy went to the convention and found this. He's 28 feet high, and he bought him for $3,000. I wonder what his wife said when he brought him home. Darling, I've got you a present. Look at the size of him. I absolutely love them, and I wish there was many, many more of them. Originally, the idea of these big guys on Route 66 was to attract people off the interstate highway, but you can't see the interstate highway from here. I don't know how many people he attracts, but he certainly wouldn't attract me to eat. But that's Gemini the Giant.
Sitting here la la, waiting for my ya-ya. Sitting here la la, waiting for my ya-ya. And me sound funny, but I don't believe she's coming.
Now you see that railway line I just crossed over there? I hope it's the same one that crosses Godley. That's the next little town we come to. In the old mining days, in the 1930s, there was a brothel here, but the lovely thing is, Godley is in 2 counties, one on each side of the street, and there's a railway line used to cross over. So they built the brothel on the railway line, and it was a house on railway wheels where all the brotheling would carry on a Friday and a Saturday night. And then when they heard the news that the police were going to conduct a raid, everybody would leap out of bed in a state of undress and push the house from one county into the other. These bare-arsed people pushing a house across the street. I can't imagine what it must have been like with the hookers and the bare-arsed patrons. I love that.
I'm sitting here waiting for my ya-ya.
96 miles down and I've already seen a giant and a brothel. Not a bad start. Pontiac, here I come.
This is Pontiac, Illinois. It's right on Route 66. And in 2009, the local government did an amazing thing. They got 160 artists to come here and do 19 murals in the town at their expense. And they've done them in that Victorian way, the way that people used to advertise on brick walls in Victorian times. And I think it's lovely, but I must tell you with this one, the artist, one of the artists, I think there was more than one because there's some signatures up on the middle paintbrush, but one of them, his dog had died the previous week and he had him cremated and mixed in with the paint, so the dog is the dog is part of the mural.
From roadside monuments to rock and roll gems, all the way through to books like The Grapes of Wrath, Route 66 has inspired countless wastrels throughout its history to create great fun and silly art in equal measure. How many other roads can you think of have their own resident artist? That's who Bob Waldomire was. He was like the prototype hippie who would spend the year travelling up and down the route, chasing the sun to Arizona while sketching these highly detailed posters. Bob died of cancer recently, but to my absolute joy, I found that his spirit lives on.
This is how he travelled. He bought it was an old school bus, and he put solar panels on the top and fitted an oven, and he's got a shower and everything. You'll have to have, it's a bit of a squeeze to get you in, but come on in, have a look. It's just the cosiest place. All his wee favourite things are still here. I don't know what would have happened in an emergency stop in this bus. We'd all end up beside him, down at the driver's seat, I would imagine. But isn't it amazing? A great way for an artist to live.
Some say that God is in the detail. Well, I don't know about that, but I can absolutely see what kind of man Bob was. And well, that's a shame. I would really like to have met him.
Well, I am consumed with envy at this vehicle. And if you aren't, look into yourself.
We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more.
Welcome to Route 66. I've 2,500 miles to cover with only 150 miles on the clock. I've still a long way to go.
Welcome to Normal. What a rotten name for a town. I notice it's rather beige.
Illinois is littered with these small towns where you suspect everybody knows each other and neighbours share coffee and lawnmowers as freely as they share each other's spouses. Not that I'm actually suggesting that they do that in my next destination. And I've come to Atlanta to meet Bill Thomas, proprietor of the rather delightful Palm Grill Cafe and Illinois State's prize-winning champion pie maker in chief.
Rhubarb.
I think I'm a peach.
A peach man? All right.
Peach is my favorite too.
It is?
Yes.
I can tell. All the best. Oh my God, it's delicious.
Isn't it the best?
Who does the big giant belong to?
To the town of Atlanta.
And I love them.
Yeah.
I absolutely love them. I wish there was more of them.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
And there seem to be fewer and fewer.
There's a donut-shaped one too in L.A.
Yeah.
A great big donut-shaped one. Yeah, I don't know if it's still in existence,
It is,
but
yeah.
Is it? Okay. I've seen pictures
And when it
of
rains, it looks as if it's been dunked.
Oh no.
It gets
That's
wet
good.
in the top. It looks like a dunk, doesn't it?
That's good.
Well, I can see why you're the champion.
Now that crust you're eating,
Yeah.
this is really unusual. It uses vegetable oil. Liquid vegetable oil. Yes, have you ever done that?
No, no butter.
No, no butter.
Yeah, I always chopped up butter into little wee cubes and then with
Then you
with the flour do it with
Yeah,
my
did you
fingers.
actually do it with your fingers?
Yes.
Yeah,
so
that's the very old-fashioned way.
Gravelly consistency.
Yeah, not many people know how to do that. I'm impressed if you can do that. I'm impressed. That's not the easiest thing to do.
He's a beauty. Oh, there should be more. They should be up and down the M1. But instead of those signs saying slow down or take it easy, check your speed, have you been drinking, the sign should be in his hands. He should be holding the sign up like that. Smile. Kiss your wife. Stop slapping your children. You're driving erratically. You know that way fathers do? They lean over the back of the driving seat and whack every leg that sticks up. That's caused more bloody accidents in Britain. It's a funny thing that really irritates me is the loss of Americana in America. When they rebuild something, they tend to make it very plain. They don't trust their own taste, which is a shame. That's what attracted people to America. Cowboy hats, and Cuban heels, and shiny lipstick, and Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield and Fred Astaire. And they seem to have been giving it away, and I think that's a shame. 130 miles down and we're about to enter the state capital, Springfield. There are 38 Springfields in America. Which one is home to the cartoon family The Simpsons? I have no idea. This Springfield, however, has one resident who's even more famous than Homer, President Abraham Lincoln. Widely regarded as the greatest president in American history, Lincoln not only held the country together during the Civil War, he also ended slavery in the States. Not bad for a self-educated man from a one-room shack in Kentucky.
Welcome to the Abraham Lincoln home.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
It's always very strange when you're in the very place where a great person used to live. That you can touch things that they have touched. It's so strange. And there's a lovely story that he was well known to have spoiled his children, and he was often seen pushing them and pulling them along in a cart, and that was considered very unmanly in those days. And I like that, because I remember as a young man myself pushing my children around, and people thinking it was, well, I was a hippie, all fringes and stripes. But people found me very odd, so goodness sake, how did they find him in the 19th century? The more I've learned about Abraham Lincoln, the more I like him as a person. Now, this is not the original wallpaper. I know you'll be looking at it and saying, is that his taste? No, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is the original wallpaper, chosen by his wife. They think maybe it was a French company. But I love it. I bet they were a really modern couple for their time. I've got something great to show you. One of the most important rooms in the house, if not the most important. Now this is what was known as the outhouse. As you can see, it's got 3 pots, small, medium and large, depending on the size of your backside, I guess. You don't want to go plunging down that hole, I tell you. You know what? I can't help thinking of him sitting there with that big hat on. I'm not much of a one for rules, but one thing I would encourage anyone to do on a road trip is go off the map, because that's where you'll find the real America they don't tell you about in the guidebooks. So I'm heading 70 miles south of Springfield to the Amish town of Arthur. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that beyond the Harrison Ford movie Witness, I know very little about the Amish, a persecuted religious sect forced to flee 19th century Europe. They're now, for all intents and purposes, self-exiled from the rest of the world. They rarely, if ever, allow cameras on their property, so this is a real privilege for me.
There's some bread if you want to start with the bread.
Yeah.
There's some jam.
Local furniture manufacturer Marvin has invited me into his home and workplace to discover what really goes on beneath the bonnets and hats of movie folklore. There is one condition, however. He would rather we didn't focus on his face while filming, as he feels it's a sign of vanity, which should make our cameraman's job a bit more interesting.
Is that your hat?
Yeah, that's my hat.
Let me see you with your hat on.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think you're not an Amish till you get that hat on.
Yeah.
Tell me something, why do Amish have no moustache?
I really don't know. It's just one of those customs, I guess, that they...
Yeah, because I've never seen an Amish with a moustache, no. just a beard around here.
It's one of their customs that we kind of all try to be alike.
Yeah.
And I guess they feel like it's not necessary to have a mustache, I guess. Some do and some don't. You know, if somebody wants...
I think it's absolutely necessary.
Okay, right. Right.
And what about clothes for Amish people? Do you buy clothes in town or do you have them made?
A lot of them make their own clothes. Shirts, we can buy shirts, and then in this area we're not allowed to have pockets on the shirts. So if they got pockets, we take the pockets off.
Well, you're not allowed pockets?
Yeah, no, not on the shirts.
Why is that?
Well, I guess it's one of those things, that one of the rules, you know.
Fortunately, there are no rules about who drives the buggy, and Marvin's bravely allowing me to take the reins.
Got the hang of it?
Yeah.
Pretty simple, isn't it?
But you know what I find very impressive, Marvin? You know, you keep talking about the rules for this and the rules for that, but you seem very comfortable with it.
Oh, yeah.
You seem very easy with it.
Yeah, it's something you get used to.
Whereas from the outside, people think it's kind of fanatical. But close up, you seem very comfortable and happy with what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. It's nice to keep your family together and just do your own thing, you know?
Yes.
So you got any children, Billy?
5.
5? Oh, yeah? Yeah.
4 girls and a boy. How many children you got?
We got 5 children. Well, we had 6, and the youngest one actually passed on. We had a little accident when he was 14 months old.
14 months? Oh, that must have broken your heart.
Yeah, it was kind of a sad situation. I was out in the barn, and I was using a skid loader to move a hay bale and a back over him.
Oh, no!
And so it was kind of sad. It's been the 2nd of April, it was 20 years ago. So. And you still think about it a lot.
Oh, I bet you do.
But, you know, life goes on, and you just got to make the best of it sometimes.
Of course you do. Now, when it comes to getting married to another Amish person, how do you find a wife?
An Amish person?
Yeah, how would the average
like,
Amish guy find an Amish wife?
What I did, I met her at a certain place, my wife, and we got each other acquainted, and then we started dating each other.
Or did you meet her at a sort of community thing, a dance or a get-together or something?
Yeah, I was probably where it shouldn't have been. We're all humans just like the rest of them.
Absolutely. But I like some of the conclusions you've come to, like having no pockets. There's something nice about that.
Yeah. I'll have to hire you to do the driving for me, then I can sleep.
Absolutely, I'd happily be your roadie. Greetings from Illinois on Route 66. Since leaving Chicago, I've clocked over 300 miles, and we're about to enter tornado country. Forget everything you think you know about bad weather. Tornadoes are nature's weapons of mass destruction. The average amount that hit land at this time of year is 116, which is terrifying enough. But since I got here, there have been 292, and I'm headed straight to the outskirts of St. Louis, where 5 of them hit just a few days ago. Oh my God. Hello. Look at this. My God. These used to be houses, these piles of rubble. The funniest thing is I don't even know how many houses this is. There's no evidence of how many houses were here. There's somebody's bath. Extraordinary. I've never been this close to this kind of thing before. The tornado was half a mile wide and it ripped through here at 166 miles an hour. 30 seconds later, all of this was gone, and that's all it took. 30 seconds. Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What was the noise like?
They say it sounds like a freight train coming through.
Yep, my dad said it sounded like a train was going right by the house, and he said that the instant his ear popped, he knew it was coming. Both his ears popped.
Is that when he was still up here?
He said as he was going down the steps, because he made it down just before it hit.
Oh my God. That's the thing that got me. There wasn't one single death.
Nope.
So you just get through all this rubble, hoping to find like precious things.
Yep. We found a couple very, very valuable things, so we're happy to.
Oh, that's lovely.
Her engagement ring.
You found your engagement ring?
Yeah, it was at my parents' house here, loose, sitting on my nightstand, and she found it in the rubble.
And that's it.
I hadn't been wearing it. I hadn't been wearing it.
I'm going to touch it for luck.
It's definitely one of the luckiest pieces of jewelry I know, so.
Oh, that's
And my wedding dress survived, too. I hadn't gotten married yet, but my wedding dress survived.
Your wedding dress survived?
My wedding dress survived. It has a little bit of mud on it and a small hole in one of the seams on the side, but all that can be fixed.
We had to pick up a
wall. All of that can be fixed easily, because I watch Bridezilla. I know all of these things.
Oh, yes. I've watched Bridezilla before, too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Do you know one other thing that really strikes me? The mood is high.
Yeah.
The optimism is extraordinary.
Yep. My parents, the first few days, were very upset that, this is such a devastating thing. But now my mom's talking about, oh, I want a new big front porch.
She's redesigning the new place.
She's already ready.
I know that one. I'm married to a woman like that. Well, it's been lovely talking to you. I'm sorry for your misfortune. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you, you too.
And good luck to you in the future. What a mess. So count your blessings and don't complain about the weather, because this is how weather can get.
This is America at its best. Good people doing good things for each other just because they can. No tears, no complaints, just stoicism and optimism. It's real pioneer spirit stuff. And it's that even more than the roadside giants that I love Americans for.
Keep on riding on, on. Keep on riding on, keep on riding on, keep on riding on. Turn and play outside the wings of
I'm here for Route 66, the most famous road in the world. How many other roads do you know that people sing about? And it's just one of those magical places that you always long to see. Ever since I was a wee boy in Glasgow, I fantasised about getting my kicks on Route 66.
Oh my God!
To me, it was a magic trail heading west through the heart of America and to the land of broken dreams and Hollywood endings. The highway that built a continent, defined a nation, running from Chicago to LA. Route 66 is a story of America written by the people for the people. Over 8 states and 2,500 miles.
I love that.
It's a tale in tarmac of presidents and paupers, cowboys and Indians, diners and drive-thrus, framed in a landscape from 100 movies with a soundtrack of the greatest music in the world, rock and roll. Sounds good, doesn't it? Oh my God. Wow! We're going to have lots of fun. Meet lots of people, see lots of nice things. Come with me. Let's take a walk on the wrong side.
Well, it goes from St. Louis down from Missouri. Oklahoma City looks so pretty, you see. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Warscow, San Bernardino. Won't you get your kicks on Route 66?
This leg of Route 66 is going to take me to the beating heart of Middle America. It's a lovely day in Kansas today. There's going to be wild dogs.
Nothing like a nice bit of rat in the morning, I've always felt.
Sassy, brassy hunters.
What do you want me to shoot?
Obsessive compulsives.
Oh, God!
A soul-singing legend. And the biggest rocking chair you have ever seen. Starting in St. Louis, I'm going to motor west 600 miles to Oklahoma City through the Bible Belt and away into cowboy country. First on my to-do list, the most impressive collection of rivets, girders and steel you've ever seen. If you're ever in St. Louis, you'll see this thing behind me. It's the Gateway Arch. It's a bit like being in Paris with the Eiffel Tower. You keep seeing it from unexpected angles. Keeps coming into your view when you least expect it. It was designed by a man called Eero Saarinen, who usually did airport terminals and stuff. And I know it sounds very anarchy, but there's 900 tons of stainless steel in there. He says he designed it like an upside-down necklace, and it's a tribute to the great explorers and hunters and trappers of the West. And as you know, they always wore a wee single-strand necklace and a twin set underneath all that rawhide gear, in case an unexpected social event should show up, you know. You'd be invited to a dance in the Appley. You'd be invited to a dance in the Outback. You know what I mean? And inside this hollow, and there's a tramway thing
I don't know exactly what they were talking about when I read the information, but there's a mode of transport to the top of it, and you shall come with me, and you will be the better for it. Well, I've never been inside a monument before. We're in the dark. And this is called a cantilever tramway. It's kind of weird, really. There's nothing much to see, except rivets and girders. Oh, I can see a stairway. I saw a stairway and a fire extinguisher.
Welcome to the top, everyone. Please go on your left up the stairs. Forward.
You can now count me in as one of the 4 million people that visit this viewing platform every year.
Well, there's 2 riverboats down there. See them? The paddle steamers. That's the mighty Mississippi, old muddy. You spend your whole life as a child learning about these things, and then it's M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. You never dream that one day you're going to be up the top of a huge monument looking down on it. Isn't life the strangest thing? And I've been here for ages and not one person has asked me to spell Mississippi. I'm so disappointed. But the whole point of this is to look west, because St. Louis was the gateway to the west. Straight ahead there must be where the Cardinals play, the St. Louis Cardinals. I've been trying to find it. I think I've spotted it. Is it? I've just been informed that it's not it at all. Come here. I was completely wrong about the Cardinals Stadium. It's there. And when I was telling you we were looking west, we were looking east. I would make a lousy explosion. Don't follow me. Forward, man, we're going that way.
Now, if I asked you to have a look at some public art, you might be tempted to turn your TV off, but stick around. St. Louis does it differently.
You'll have often heard people saying, oh, America's got everything. In actual fact, they're quite right. And I've got the absolute proof for you, and it's right over here. It's a bidet for joggers. As you notice over here, the man is striding manfully through a line of bidets, which will get rid of his sweaty crotch problem instantly. Oh, America. Like, you see that face? You see that sculpture? It's a head lying on its side. If you look in the eyes of that sculpture, you'll see little faces looking out.
Are you okay? Okay.
It seems to become very tactile and accessible because it's abstract. Isn't that lovely, the way people feel entitled to go up and touch that art? I love that. I absolutely love it. Good on you, St. Louis. I mean, how many times have you been in town and you've seen a statue of some dreary old curmudgeon standing there in his frock coat with children clambering over it? They actually scare children. The only things they don't seem to scare are seagulls and pigeons. But look at that. That's alive and well. Watch this. Wouldn't it be wonderful if just for one day all the sidewalks in the world were like that? Yo! Not bad, eh? Don't you miss those days when you didn't mind being soaking wet, didn't care about a change of clothes?
Hamburgers, fries, hot dogs. It's an unfortunate truth that road food is not exactly good for your taste buds or your colon. So when you get the chance to eat real soul food prepared by a real soul queen, you shake your tail feather and get to Sweetie Pie's restaurant pronto.
Oh, Billy Connolly, how lovely to meet you, Robbie. What a privilege.
This is Miss Robbie Montgomery, the equally formidable and beautiful owner of Sweetie Pie.
Make sure you guys cut those greens up, because we were eating greens like a whole leaf, like jungle weed. Like some jungle weed. Cut them up.
But if there's something in her sass that makes you think you might have seen her before, take a look at this. Because Robbie used to be one of Ike and Tina Turner's legendary Ikeettes. Those amazing backing singers that used to tear up the stage in the 60s.
I saw you before you were going on that.
Shaking my tail feather?
That was my favourite, shaking the tail feather.
Really? Shaking the tail feather. The tail feather is broke. I can't shake it anymore. I've gotten too old for that.
A river deep, mountain high.
Yes, yes.
These days, she's much more famous for her soul food, which is supposed to be the best in Missouri.
So, Billy, you kind of pick up your tray. I'm going to give you a lesson in soul food.
Oh, good. I've never had soul food before.
This is your first?
It's my first
time.
Oh,
I'm glad it's my restaurant that you're trying for the first time. This is Billy, ladies, and you take care of him, even though we take care of everybody.
I'm looking forward to this.
Greens.
Oh, collard greens. Can I have some of that?
And he's got to try the macaroni and cheese.
Of course he does.
Right. Here we call this Mississippi-style cooking because all of these are my mom's recipes.
Well, you grew up lucky.
Okay, good. So is that approval?
I love this. It's delicious.
All right, good. That makes me feel proud, and I'm sure my mom is happy. She's turning over.
I can hear it.
All right, I told you.
I always order mac and cheese when I can to see if it's as good as mine.
Okay, is it? Just a little bit off, huh? All right, well, I don't want to beat you. Just put me in the race.
But this is a highlight for me.
The
collard greens.
See, that's a big green right there.
It's a big lump of
green. That should have been cut up.
Yeah.
See, those little things like that I have to go in the back and say, why didn't you cut those greens up?
I don't think I'd like you to be my boss. I think you'd be a mighty boss.
You should hear me some days.
Oh, really?
I got a vocabulary that I can't use all the time.
Me too.
Okay.
Bitching in the kitchen.
Right. Bitching in the kitchen, exactly, exactly.
Thanks for the music too.
Oh, good.
So you would actually sing and rehearse and cook as well?
Oh, yeah, because everything was segregated back there.
Yeah.
So wasn't a lot of places for the black people to eat. Yeah. So we had electric skillets, and we would get in the hotel rooms and cook.
It's very difficult to believe, isn't it, segregation?
Yeah, that's right, and it's still going on. I mean, it's not as prevalent, but it's still happening. I remember the day my son came home and said, "Mom, what's a nigger?" And I'm like, "Who told you that?" I knew somebody told him because I had never said anything about that to him. He's like 2 or 3 years old. But, I mean, as you go and you learn to ignore their ignorance, because I'm in a place in my life at 70, I'm happy just to be here. As long as we love each other, that's where I'm at.
That's the beginning, the middle, and the end, isn't it?
It is.
Before you go.
Give me a love. Thank you. All right. Oh, thank you so much.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you more. God bless you.
Just once.
All right.
With my belly full of mac and cheese, it's time to leave the city limits and head into Missouri. This is real Bible Belt country, a lush state peppered with churches and gun-toting hunters. Which is ironic because my first port of call is a wolf sanctuary. After years of systematic slaughter, wolves are now nearly extinct in these parts. But thanks to people like my guide Regina, real efforts are being made to turn that trend around.
Where's my wolves?
Oh, we've got them for you. We have 40 wolves at the Endangered Wolf Center. We're very unique because we don't pet the animals, we don't talk to them, we don't play with them. We want them to keep that fear of humans so when they go into the wild, they stay away from people. Well, you want to help us feed a deer to one of our packs?
Yeah.
All right, this is for you.
That's for me. What do I do with it?
It's your protection stick. The wolves won't come up to you, but it's just a safety just to have it. If you feel threatened, you can wave it if they try and come up to you. But like I said, wolves stay far away from us, so you'll see them. They're going to be at the back of the enclosure.
Right.
Okay.
My protection stick. I'm sure wolves are terrified of white sticks.
this guy was frozen, so it'll be a deer popsicle for him. So this guy was hit by a car.
I can see that.
Yeah, he broke a leg. And it's nice that he's not going to go to waste. You know, the wolves get to practice, you know, eating their natural prey. We'll go out this way and let them get their dinner. Even though we're on the outside of the enclosure right now, they're still nervous that we're here. That's how much they're afraid of people.
That's extraordinary. That really takes me by surprise. Oh.
And now it's his.
He's peed on it. Maybe that was his way of defrosting it. They're really wishing we weren't here, aren't they?
They are. They're ready to go for dinner, and we're making them nervous.
I like the way they stop and look straight at us. I never expected them to be so tender and scared, you know? When you think of the kind of reputation a wolf has for being terrifying and attacking human beings, it's just nonsense.
While we leave the wolves to enjoy the lunch,
look at this.
I'm checking you out.
Regina introduces me to African wild dogs that they also breed here.
Oh, pig's ear.
A pig's ear and a rat.
Pig's ear and a rat. Yum, oh.
Making you hungry for lunch? It's like an Easter egg. You get to place it wherever you want to.
Can I just leave it anywhere here?
Yep, you can put it wherever you want. Perfect. You hear him howling? Cool.
Oh, that's the coolest noise. I don't know if I'd like it if I was in my tent. That was a great noise. That's made my day.
Isn't that cool? Not very many people have heard the sounds of howls. What's amazing about these guys is these guys share. So what happens when they have puppies is they'll have a babysitter stay back and watch the puppies.
No.
Yeah. And what they do is when they make the kill, they'll eat and they'll actually come back and regurgitate not only for the puppies, but for the babysitter. So it's really a one-for-all, all-for-one system.
It's nothing like a nice bit of rat in the morning,
Yeah.
I've always felt.
They save the tail for last. That's the best part.
I always do.
Yeah.
Nothing like it, a bit of rat in a pig's ear for a wee snack in the morning.
There's a lot to do on a Sunday afternoon in the fabulous green state of Missouri. You could fix your tractor. You could stuff an animal. Maybe even have a barbecue. Or you could get on the blower, call some mates, find an empty field, dress up like an extra from Pirates of the Caribbean, and play with some very big guns, all to mark the 150th anniversary of the American Civil War.
There's 11 southern states versus 25 northern states. And you know, the funniest thing is, everybody thinks it was about slavery, but the argument goes on today as to whether it was or not. Abraham Lincoln thought it was about slavery. It's a very complex issue, and it sells millions of books every year. People dedicate their life to the study of the Civil War. 625,000 men died. It's the saddest war of all because some of the people involved didn't actually know what they were fighting for. And as I say, some people today don't even know what it was really about. But as you can see, very few people fall down. I think it's the one failing of reenactment. Everybody wants to be in it for the whole day. Nobody wants to die in the first 5 minutes and lie there for the whole day unless the sun's shining. And you can die face up, get a good tan. There's a dead guy lying just there. I think he might be asleep. surrendering and he's a blue coat.
Again. He did that the first time. He's got a bigger rag out there now.
Get out of here, you big Jesse! Fight like a man! Did you win?
Yeah.
But I thought the Union side was supposed to win today.
No, this is the Battle of Blackwell.
The Battle of Blackwell?
Yeah,
and that was won by the Confederates?
Yeah.
And is it quite accurate?
I mean, just for insurance reasons, we can't pull rammers. So when you've got to reload one of these things, you got to tap load it. When properly done, you know, they're
yes, all that stuff.
But, you know, anything can happen in the heat of battle and people get scared. Next thing you know, somebody's left a ramrod in there, and they fire and the ramrod fires, which happened a lot in the real wars.
Really?
Oh, yeah, quite often. You'd have somebody that would...
Hello, man, how you doing?
Like,
are you part of a society?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you practice these things?
Yes. Oh, yes. Sometimes we'll work for 6 months just to get everything right. The gear, the clothes, the attitude.
And that's your hobby?
Yeah, one of them.
Or as the wife says, obsession.
Oh, yeah? Oh, it's been a real pleasure. Stay safe. Don't go firing those ramrods at each other.
No, definitely not.
There are an awful lot of tourist attractions along Route 66. From the lofty heights of the Grand Canyon all the way to this big blue whale made of concrete. But it would appear the place that's most heavily advertised is Merrimack Caverns. Every few miles there's a billboard urging me to take a look. Is it worth it? Let's find out. Welcome to the Merrimack Caverns. This is one of the most famous stop-offs on Route 66. And it's a wee bit showbiz, as you can see from the neon. Lester Dill bought the place and decided to make it into a tourist attraction when, gasp, he found some artefacts belonging to Jesse James and came to the conclusion that this was the James Gang hideout. Very convenient. Jesse James the Outlaw has a bit of a Robin Hood-like reputation in Missouri. And according to this recently uncovered bit of archive,
hot day. Yeah, it is.
He was also a fastidious house cleaner.
Great racehorse, that Skyrocket. Kind of dusty, though.
Which ultimately may have contributed to his untimely death.
Jesse turned his back. It was his last mistake.
If there's a power cut in here, we might have to eat one another. What I find baffling is that for all the neon signs and James Gang artefacts, the real highlight of the cave is nature. Built up over millions of years, these beautiful formations are barely mentioned in the advertising. Extraordinary. Look at this one. I've never touched a stalactite before. I've got you a kind of wee special treat. It's a bit touristy, but I think you'll like it.
America.
Oh, yes. It's kind of charming, but it's a bit like the Wizard of Oz, you know, when you see behind all the magic there's a wee man working all the levers and buttons. He's very good at it, though. There's a tackiness about Route 66 that out-tacks any tackiness I ever saw anywhere. I just don't understand why people think a thing as staggeringly beautiful needs a light show to make it any better than it is. It's amazing how that naturally occurred, that Stars and Stripes.
This is an excellent view of the death of Route 66. You see that there? That's the interstate highway. And that's the thing that took all the business away from here. They keep trying different things, but it's slowly dying. And it's been decommissioned as a highway anyway. It's got all different numbers and names, and it's kind of broken up. So you can whoosh along there and see very little. Or you can creep along here and see lots.
People have built all manner of daft things along Route 66. They're designed to lure you out of your car and into their shop, but this beats them all.
Welcome to Fanning, Missouri, and the biggest rocking chair in the whole world. The rockers are 32. Excuse me, it's so ridiculous. The rockers are 32 feet long. It's got one great failing. It doesn't rock. That was wonderful. What a lovely thing. Whose idea was it?
That's mine.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
The Giant Rocker is the brainchild of the Sanazaro family, who own the 66 Outpost. A treasure trove of all manner of stuff.
This doesn't seem right. Well, we've just been to see the protection of the wolves. And if those wolves don't behave...
Not least Missouri hospitality.
Will I be able to draw that back?
Yeah, I got to set it on 5 pounds for you.
They've invited me to go hunting for wild turkey tomorrow, but not before they put my archery skills to the test.
Put that top pin right there on.
The top pin?
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
That's why you got to put your finger behind it. Pull her back there. There you go.
Oh, I see.
Perfect.
Nice shot.
You got a natural. Yeah.
Isn't it? That's quite good.
That's a good shot. That's a 4 ring. Let's go to the back and shoot an animal. I got target animals. Purple to the elk there. Yeah. Put it right behind the front leg. Okay.
Well, it's been my experience when you fire at targets. Did I get it?
Yeah, perfect shot.
You want the real thing eventually. Oh, right in the ass. That makes it jump. That makes it jump and you get it. You know, if you're in the army and you shoot at targets and the target is that guy like this.
There's your bullseye. See that ring right there?
Yeah. You have a go at him, and after a bit, maybe 100 shots, you think, I wonder how it would be with a real guy who shoots back. That was real kind of you, man. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
My Hawkeye skills honed, I'm off to meet the rest of the family, including my hunting guides, twin sisters, Carolyn and Sherry.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Something's happened to my eyes.
Billy, this is my twin sister, Sherry.
Hello, Sherry.
Nice to meet you.
You kept that secret.
We are your turkey guys for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, you both coming?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yippee. Oh, look at this.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Is there turkey in Europe?
No, not wild ones.
None?
No.
Well, you're in for a treat tomorrow. I hope we can call a couple up close and...
Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
We're going to be hunting right over there. There's a ridge over there, and that's where I've been hearing them. So.
Yeah, how are you going to be doing it? Are you doing it with a gun or a bow?
What do you want me to shoot? I've got both.
Whatever you like. It is I. It's 5 a.m. I'm in a garage in Cuba, Missouri, and I'm dressed to kill. I hope turkeys are pretty stupid because we don't look like woodland creatures at all.
It's just like a 5-minute walk.
I've never hunted wild turkey before, and there does seem to be quite a lot to get my head around. The twins have set up 2 tents opposite each other. The idea is that Sherry hides in one to lure the turkey by making some noises. Then, once it's in range, Carolyn will shoot it with her bow. Well, that's the theory. That's a turkey, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very far away.
Yeah. He wants us to go to him. He's playing real hard to get. Yeah, he's across the river. Sometimes, if they get excited enough, they'll fly across the river.
Yeah?
Yeah, but sometimes it's late in the afternoon before they'll do that.
I don't think you can charge through here with all these big lights expecting us up. My bed was so warm. And as dawn breaks on another beautiful Missouri morning, so does our patience. I'm beginning to suspect turkey sandwiches are no longer on the menu.
Try that again. Whatever was out there, they're gone now.
What are we doing?
So what do you think of wild turkey hunting in Missouri?
I'm sure it'll be wonderful when I see it.
That's why they call it hunting and not killing.
Absolutely.
It was an experience.
Yeah, it's a great experience. My hat's a great experience too. I was absolutely delighted that the turkeys got away. I don't know what I would quite how I would have reacted if we had killed one. I had no intention of killing a turkey. I'm not in the killing business, but I like being out. I like being in the woods, and I like being with those women. They were lovely. They were lovely company. I'll never forget that. Those lovely people of Missouri. I'm on my way from Fanning to Springfield, Missouri. Now, you need to keep your wits about you on Old 66. There are some states where it's really well signposted. Missouri isn't one of them. There are, however, a few other signs to read as you ride. There's a big billboard there, and all it says is Jesus. There's a church there called the Change of Heart Church. The First Church of God, Refiner's Fire Apostolic Church, and here's another one. God, I've never seen so many churches in my life. This is the Bible Belt.
Your own personal Jesus.
God Almighty, here's another one.
Someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares.
God, I think they've got a church each. God's gonna get you. God's gonna get you, and them demons is gonna get you. Demons. I watched a woman on television yesterday saying she had ascended into heaven and had fought demons. They were dragons, red and black, and God gave her a sword and she slew them. And she can teach you how to do it if you just buy her CD for $25.
Reach out and touch things.
Apparently this is a real treat. I'm going to see a man's collection, a man called Rob Lurvey, who's been collecting all his life. The next time you'll see me, I'll be in there, inside. He doesn't want any evidence of where the collection is because it's not for anybody else, it's just for him. And I can't wait. Let's go.
Welcome.
Oh, you must be Rob.
You must be Billy.
How lovely to meet you, Rob.
You look just like yourself.
I just saw the zithers.
Oh, yeah. I'm one of the few zither collectors probably in the world that I know of anyway. These two here are interesting. They were made in July of 1890, consecutive serial numbered. One's 3674 and one's 3675.
Zithers and serial numbers? Welcome to the weird and wonderful world of the male obsessive. That is a fancy, fancy schmancy one. According to Rob, collecting stuff is a uniquely American male trait. It starts young with baseball cards, and before you know it, you've a room after room after room full of stuff. Oh my God.
I've got one of the largest, if not the largest, collection of lap steels in the world.
Goodness sake. Then more stuff. God. I thought I'd seen the collection.
Oh, no. It just gets more insane the further you go.
Oh, my God.
And then...
My God, you get even more. I'm sorry for laughing. It's just
crazy, isn't it?
It's just beyond. You got it bad.
I know. I do.
And for those of you that are thinking of cloning John Lennon, yes, Beatle fans, yesterday your trouble seemed so far away, so come together now and discover what millions have before, that love is all you need, experience what magic their mop tops brought to others. The heart of the 60s still beats. Actually contains a lock of hair from one of the Fab Four. My God. Considering he's a man with a mystery address, it would be rude to ask how Rob supports his need to collect. But collect he does. Like gravity, his need for stuff is a force of nature.
In here is medicine bottles. I also collect tobacco tins.
It just doesn't stop.
I collect tweed suitcases. I got a couple hundred tweed suitcases. Yeah. I never sell anything. So all of a sudden you have 200 of them, you know?
Why do you never sell anything? Don't you sort of try to make room and change and...
No, I just expand. Just keep...
Oh, look at your ukuleles.
These are Fender Coronados. I've got 50 of them now. And I'm still buying them if the price is right.
I got 50 of them. Oh my God. I never met anyone like you before.
I tell people when they ask who I am, I say, well, I'm an obsessive, compulsive, manic, depressive, eccentric, eclectic. Or eclectic, eccentric. It depends on what day it is.
They just sit around waiting for you to phone, don't they, the guys?
It's madness.
It certainly is. Well, that is what you call a collection. And I thought I had too much stuff at home, but I've got hardly anything. I'm crossing the state line into Kansas. Route 66 only passes through a wee section of Kansas, just 13 miles. That'll be 3 states down and 5 to go. This is Galena, Kansas. I don't think I would be too far out in saying that his best days are behind it. Forget the banks gone under on Wall Street. This is a real face of economic crisis in America. Abandoned stores, homes under foreclosure, and no work. Swap meet might be worth a look. It would appear the only thing flourishing in this part of Kansas is car boot sales. Hello, do you mind if we look at your stuff?
Go right ahead.
Thanks very much. Are you selling those chickens and all?
Yeah.
How much does a chicken cost?
Well, a lot of people sell them for $15 a piece when they're grown and laying eggs.
Yeah.
Anywhere from $8 to $15.
8 to 15 bucks?
Yeah.
How much is a duck?
Ducks are 5. Because they grow quicker than chickens do.
Oh, look at the wee chickadees. It's a lovely day in Kansas today. Hello.
Hello.
Are you a Grateful Dead fan?
No. I used to make these.
Oh, yeah.
Used to sell them, but they're kind of dead right now. So.
Yeah, I've got long johns like that. And I'm very proud of them. I'm a deadhead and proud of it.
Come in, look. It's all cheap. We don't sell nothing expensive here. I'm trying to liquidate stuff.
Everything's like 10 cents. We're just giving it away.
Really? Now there's a scarecrow who means what he says.
Well, welcome to the United States. Well, you'll find a variety of interesting stuff along Old Route 66.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of history here.
Yeah. What's that?
That is an old German piece. I acquired a small collection of German military memorabilia from an elderly gentleman in Joplin who brought them back from Germany during the war. Well, this is a German dagger. And this old banner was also the same gentleman liberated this banner from a building in Germany during World War II.
Yeah.
And it remained in Joplin ever since. But I don't really keep this kind of stuff. I do buy it and sell and trade it when I find it, but I'm not really a big fan of it.
No, I'm not a fan of it myself.
Due to the history behind it. But I've always picked up anything unusual or unique. Of course, you may not want to see that. You may not want to film that particular bumper sticker.
Obama sucks. Oh, I like him. I think he's great.
Well, I know a lot of people from other countries think he's absolutely wonderful, but...
What about the killing of Osama?
Well, you know, he's taking full credit for that, but he's not greatly liked at this point.
Well, thanks for your time.
Yes, yes. Enjoy your stay.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me to rumble through your stuff. There's something about a swastika that just stops me in my tracks. That's the second one I've seen in a few weeks. I saw one in Scotland. And it does something deep inside me. It scares the bejesus out of me. I get unsettled.
Everybody's talking at me. I don't hear a word they're saying.
I've crossed the state line into my fourth state, Oklahoma. It's 300 miles to Oklahoma City, and I'm keen to get there before it gets dark.
People stop and stare.
Because I'm heading for the site of the Oklahoma bombing, now a national memorial. It's something I really want to see, but in all honesty, I'm not really sure how it's going to make me feel. This is the site of the Alfred P. Murrah building, where in 1995, on April 19th, Timothy McVeigh drove up with a truckload of explosive and blew the building up. He was a kind of reactionary. He was an ex-American soldier who was all right-wing and screwed up about government and how evil government was. And there's a few guys like that here, with that kind of militia-mindedness, you know. And this is the memorial to the tragedy that he created. 168 people died, including 16 children. We're very, very close here to where he parked his truck. It's just about halfway down here. He loaded it up with explosives and had built a cage inside the truck so as it would blow towards the front of the building. He really put that much thought into it. These chairs, there's 168 chairs representing each one of the dead. That's Kathleen Louise Cregan. This is a child one. Ashley Megan Eccles. I wonder who these people were. There's another child one here, you see. Another one. Oh, there it is. They're lit. And although it was a federal building, there was also a creche in here, and children all playing, having a nice time. It's every bit as powerful as I thought it might be. This says it all. It's a funny thing, it gives it a kind of strange life, doesn't it? It gives the people a life that'll never go away. That light. Just one of those great American tragedies. I'm glad we came here. It was funny, it was all stormy a few minutes ago. We thought we wouldn't be able to come. It was such a building up to be a big storm, and now we're here, it's very, very calm. It is so deeply moving. They should be immensely proud of it in Oklahoma. A fitting tribute to those innocent people who died. I'm here for Route 66, the most famous road in the world. How many other roads do you know that people sing about? And it's just one of those magical places that you always long to see. Ever since I was a wee boy in Glasgow, I fantasised about getting my kicks on Route 66.
Oh my God!
To me, it was a magic trail heading west through the heart of America into the land of broken dreams and Hollywood endings. The highway that built a continent, defined a nation, running from Chicago to LA. Route 66 is the story of America, written by the people for the people. Over 8 states and 2,500 miles.
I love that.
It's a tale in tarmac of presidents and paupers, cowboys and Indians, diners and drive-thrus, framed in a landscape from 100 movies with the soundtrack of the greatest music in the world, rock and roll. Sounds good, doesn't it? Oh my God. Whoa! We're going to have lots of fun, meet lots of people, see lots of nice things. Come with me. Let's take a walk on the wrong side.
Well, it goes from St. Louis down from Missouri. Oklahoma City looks so pretty, you see. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Moscow, San Bernardino. Won't you get your kicks on Route 66?
This week I'm heading into the wide open spaces and the big, big skies of the cowboy states.
See that?
It's hundreds of miles of steers, the queer.
Isn't it good?
And just plain crazy. But that's only part of the story. This land is full of atomic secrets. This is actually hell. Ghost towns.
Be with you in a minute, sir. Madam.
And a magic whistle. And if you think you know this place from a lifetime of John Wayne movies, think again.
This place, I wish you were here. I wish you could see it.
Starting in Oklahoma, I'm going to plough 700 miles through Texas, New Mexico and Arizona before making a 150-mile detour north into ancient Navajo land and Monument Valley. But first...
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can show a smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oh,
well, that's quite enough of that. But yes, I'm in Oklahoma where the wind really does come crashing down the plain and the cattle outnumber humans by almost 2 to 1. This is the face of modern cowboy country. Ranch hands from New York, dreadlocks, baseball hats and low-slung jeans. It's refreshing, but I'm secretly pleased that Stan Manishrek, the owner of this ranch, is still a proud bearer of a 10-gallon hat.
Well done, guys.
We're on our way.
Oh, great. I'll go around to the other side.
Okay, sounds good to me.
And we are going, literally, on a cattle drive.
I love the way those 2 boys work the cattle.
Yeah, they're pretty good boys. They work hard and they do a good job. And it's hard to find people to work on the farm.
There it is.
This is a nice way to make a living. It's not a good way to make a living. You don't make a lot of money, but it's the best life in the world.
Yeah. Takes a bit of driving this thing, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm not very good at it. They talk about gear grinders. I'm a grinder. I don't do very good.
Apparently cows create so much methane when they fart, they cause more harm to the ozone layer than cars. I mention this because there's a constant emission of gas, fluid and effluents going on behind us, with potentially explosive consequences for those standing roadside.
Up here at this toll booth, we go through there and we'll pay. And generally, if they have any experience with these cattle, the minute you get through paying, that window goes up. Oh, I mean, you'll see them slam that window closed. Thank you. Okay. See that window come up? Huh?
That was great. She's been down this road before.
Yeah.
An hour later, we reach our destination, Oklahoma City stockyards.
Come on, come on, come on.
There goes 25 grand's worth of steer and who knows how many burgers. These stockyards are the biggest in the world, known locally as Cowtown. They've been here since 1910 and process up to 18,000 head of cattle a day.
It's a town within a city. It's a bit like the Vatican, really. It rules itself. And the city would love to get rid of it because of the smell and the effluent and the noise and all that. Poor things, they're going to be hamburgers soon. That means, honest, I'll be good. Don't send me to be sold. I'll be a really good boy if you just let me live. Poor old things, they've got no balls or anything. You ever heard anything like that in your life?
148!
That's what I sounded like to English audiences when I first came from Scotland. That's what I sounded like to Edinburgh audiences when I first came from Glasgow.
I can't begin to tell you what he's saying, but this is serious business. Oklahoma is currently suffering a drought of the same magnitude, if not worse, than the one that saw the state turn into a dust bowl during the Great Depression. And the only way that the farmers and ranchers let stand can survive is by using cutting-edge farming techniques, which cost money. So every word that's being said here counts. I loved that. It was like listening to bluegrass banjo. But now it's time to leave Oklahoma.
The mama pajama rolled out of bed and she ran to the police station.
So here it is, the Route 66 of my imagination. Long, straight roads, big skies, and bigger distances to travel.
It was against the law, or what the mama saw. It was against the law.
My next stop is 200 miles away over the border in Texas, where everything, even religion, is bigger.
That's the biggest crucifix in the Western Hemisphere. I wonder what height they thought Jesus was. Judging by that, he must have been about 42 feet high.
It's a funny place, Texas. Not only did they vote George W. Bush into public office, there are also 102 registered Elvis impersonators working there at any given time. Not a good run of claims to fame, but that could be about to change because I'm heading for the tiny town of McLean. Stuck in the middle of nowhere with very little to do, the town has put itself firmly on the map as a must-see for one simple reason.
This is a museum to barbed wire.
That may sound daft if you don't live in Texas or if you don't live in the West. But barbed wire, or the devil's rope as they called it, was invented by a man called Samuel Glidden. A lot of people wished him dead because before that, the whole West was free range for cattle, free grazing. You could drove your cattle over hundreds of miles just eating as they went. But then people started putting up barbed wire and lining off their land, especially if they had water, because that way they could stop the whole herd in its tracks and charge for the water. And it caused range wars, caused a lot of death, a lot of fighting, a lot of terrible arguing. It doesn't have a good history, barbed wire. Come on in, we'll have a wee look. Oh, here we go, here we go. Now just hold your excitement. I'm going to take you over to the barbed wire splices. There's the stuff that you know so well from the L-shaped cut on your khaki shorts as you're escaping from the orchard with your jumper full of apples. And the guy's shouting, "Come back here, you bunch of bastards." That's what causes it. They're khaki cutters. I always wondered why it made such a right-angled cut. You would think it would just tear it. But oh, there's more over there. I'll spare you the agony. Oh, here's the First World War barbed wire. German. This says, "Welcome to our trenches." English military wire. Now you'll notice there's more spaces in between the barbs. A gentler race of people. Come and have a cup of tea, this suggests. Now the German one suggests, which sounds a bit like German too, doesn't it? Isn't that a coincidence? And that's where we see the roots of German language. As the barbs go through your serge trousers in a million L-shaped scars. Who would have thought barbed wire could be so much fun?
Every night I've been hugging my pillow, dreaming dreams of Amarillo, and sweet Marie who waits for me.
There are two things worth noting about Amarillo, Texas. The first one is that no one here has ever heard the song "Is This the Way to Amarillo?" And the second is this, the Cadillac Ranch. It's the brainchild of Stanley Marsh III, a millionaire eccentric, and they are as an iconic piece of art as Andy Warhol's tin of Campbell's soup. And just like those tins of soup, you can treat it as seriously or as silly as you want.
He did it in the 70s to represent the American love of the automobile and the freedom that it brought them. For reasons best known to himself, they're perched at an angle exactly the same to the Great Pyramid of Giza. I don't know why that should be, you'll have to ask him. But he encourages people to graffiti on them, to repaint them, to whatever you care to call it, he encourages it. And I'm going to do it. And every now and again, apparently, he recoats them to give you a clean canvas. The public can start again doing whatever they like on it. To make love to me, I know will never be Billy Connolly. What? How in the name of God did that? He must have come and done that. Imagine having my name on it, that's freakish. Billy plus Amarillo, Billy C. This has been prepared for me. What a lucky chap I am. Look at it along that way. Isn't it good? How very weird, it's really knocked me off my balance. I might as well say hello to him.
I've never graffitied before. It's great fun. I'm not surprised people do it. It's the last thing on earth I ever thought was that the Cadillac Ranch would be a shrine to me. I've had a lovely time. I think I'll do it in Scotland with bicycles.
Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying.
There it goes, the Midpoint Cafe, the halfway point of Route 66.
To bring some loving here today.
And with 1,300 miles to go before I reach LA, I can't hang around.
We don't need to escalate.
I've started to notice something though. The further west I travel, the lonelier and more isolated the towns become.
You know we've got to find a way.
And there's a reason for that. When the new interstate highways were built, all these towns on Route 66 were simply cut off from the rest of the world. Some survived, others, like my next destination, Glen Rio, turned into ghost towns overnight.
This is Glen Rio. It's a ghost town, except for one lady who lives here, Roxanne. The interstate bypassed Glen Rio in 1973. There was 30 residents, and apparently it just completely died overnight. Go and have a wee word with her, I think. Hello, Roxanne. Billy Connolly. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So this was your dad's gas station?
Yes.
Did you work here?
Oh, yes. All my siblings and I every summer. All the traffic would be lined up to the highway, both directions. Very, very busy.
Yeah.
Every island. He would have us go wash the windshields and check the oil so they'd be ready to just pump the gas and keep them moving through. Texas Longhorn down there was the last to go.
What was that? What was the Texas Longhorn? The restaurant?
It was this.
Oh, it's a motel?
Yes, cafe, station, and motel.
Just over here?
Uh-huh.
Well, it certainly isn't now. So how does it feel to live here all alone?
Well, I'm used to it. I'm fine with it. I like the peace
Yeah,
and
well, you got plenty
quiet.
of dogs to keep you company anyway.
Right.
How many dogs have you got?
6.
They make the noise of 12.
Yeah, that sounds like more.
What made you decide to stay?
It's home.
Yeah. But don't you need other people around you to make it home?
Well, my daughter comes every chance she gets. My son stops by pretty often.
Oh, that's great.
I like it here. I plan to stay as long as I'm able.
Yeah, why not? Why not? You could be the Lord Mayor as well, if you like.
Well, people tease me about that. I'm the mayor, the sheriff, and everything.
So they've only got one cow living there now?
Oh, looks like.
Be with you in a minute, sir. Madam. Yes. We have single rooms. Would suit you ideally.
Yeah, this was the station part, and the cafe over here.
Oh, there was a cafe here?
Mm-hmm.
Just to think that people swanning around here being happy, having cups of coffee and checking in for the night.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you get your groceries and all that?
I usually go to Amarillo, but for a short trip, if I don't have that much time, I'll go to Tucumcari. That's 40 miles.
So it's 40 miles, a short trip, 40 miles.
Right.
These people of Route 66, they never cease to amaze me. I mean, can you imagine driving 40 miles for a pint of milk? The last ghost of Glen Rio, alone but not lonely. Not for me, you understand. But isn't the world just that wee bit better for her being there? Did you know the state motto for New Mexico is Land of Enchantment? And it really is. I'm absolutely beguiled. The state capital, Santa Fe, is a heady mixture of Anglo, Native American and Spanish cultures all mushed together in the most glorious light. It really is one of the most beautiful places in the States. And high up in the mountains overlooking Santa Fe is the town of Los Alamos. It's pretty, if you like that sort of thing. It's got public parks, blue skies, happy children.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same.
And to look at, it's all quite unremarkable.
And a blue one and a yellow one.
But here's the thing. Los Alamos is a town of mystery, home to a huge government-funded research department. The town has more PhDs as residents than anywhere else in the world. And while people will tell you to have a nice day and mean it, there's an unspoken rule here. You can ask anyone's name, but you must never ask what they do for a living. This is a nice wee rural setting with the sun pouring down on us and a nice wee log cabin behind us. But this is actually hell. This is where the atom bomb was made, Los Alamos, New Mexico. And it was born as a completely secret city. Back in 1943, both the Allies and the Nazis were well aware that whoever could harness atomic energy as a weapon first would ultimately control the outcome of the war. Manhattan Project was born, and workers from all walks of life right across the States were instructed to pack their bags, leave their friends and family, and come to the secret town of Los Alamos. Thousands of people worked here, but nobody knew that you couldn't write to them. If you wrote to them, it was to a post box in Santa Fe, 45 minutes down the road. You couldn't telephone them. Even their ID cards had no picture on it, so they got away with murder, you know. The police would say, oh, you're one of them atomics, and let them go. It was a total and absolute secret. And what they came up with was that great mushroom cloud. Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the Bikini Atoll and all those famous ones now. There's a museum here to the place. They have pictures of parties, laughing and joking. Nobody seemed to realize just what they were creating. It's kind of weird. You can't imagine how people are leading an ordinary life. Because I've always felt, you see these programs about modern weapons, and you think, did the guy who invented them, did they go home and cuddle their children at night? So you sleep tight now and everything's fine. We have two guys here, Frank and Jack, who worked here when they were young men as a driver and a machinist. So I'm going to have a wee chat with them to see how it was to work in hell. Hello, guys. Billy Connolly.
Who am I?
Great.
Connolly, Frank Oswald.
You're Frank. You're Jack.
Jack Abbey.
Great. Can I sit here?
Yes, you may.
That's great.
If you behave.
I'll try my best to behave. It's funny being told to behave in a place where they made the atomic bomb. How did you feel about being part of manufacturing an atomic bomb? Did you know, for a start, if that's what you were doing?
They came looking for a machinist at the Ford Motor Company in Detroit, and about a dozen of us came out here. That's my Hungarian friend from Detroit. We came out here together.
You play guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
They told us we would build something that might end the war. We didn't know for sure what it was.
Really? But they did find out. And on the 16th of July, 1945, the atom bomb was tested, and Frank and Jack were both there to witness it.
I went down there, and I climbed a mountain, and we slept up there the night before and watched it that next morning.
You did?
So we looked down at it, and all of a sudden a flash went off. We saw the mushroom building up below us. And then I heard the sound come in later.
Who took the picture? You took the picture of the explosion?
Oh, I did. That thing.
That's your picture there?
That's it.
That is an extraordinary picture. So where did that take place?
Trinity, 200 miles from here.
My God. The cloud was almost 8 miles high, and Jack's amateur snap is the only colour picture in existence, and is now one of the most published photographs in the world. That's extraordinary. How did you feel? When you, did it fill you with, what, fear or joy or horror?
It was quite an exciting experiment.
Because you must be one of the few people on Earth who have watched an atomic explosion for pleasure.
Right. Unofficially, from a high place.
Yeah. I mean, there can't be many.
Well, speaking of pleasure there, that you watched the staff after it went up. Wow! Now
Yes.
you saw some pleasure.
Yes. Was anybody troubled with guilt that you knew? Because it seems
I would say a large number were that they had, previous to this, circulated petitions to not use the bomb aggressively, but to demonstrate its power at a deserted island someplace.
Yes.
And there were literally hundreds of signatures on that petition that never reached Roosevelt.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
No, his Secretary Burns, I believe it was, blocked it. He didn't want Roosevelt to see that.
Really?
But yes, there was guilt.
Yes.
And a lot of it.
I'm actually very glad to hear that. I mean, I'm not glad people felt guilty, but it would be deeply disturbing if everybody was overjoyed about it, wouldn't it?
I've understood what that would do.
Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been a real pleasure.
You're very welcome.
I'll be honest, I never thought Route 66 would bring me face to face with people involved with the first atom bomb. But what lovely guys. And what a thing to see a dawn of a new age.
And if you look left and right, you can see to the end of the earth. It's an enormous place. Sounds silly to say an enormous place, but you can see for a fantastic distance, and the sky is immense, huge.
My next stop, Albuquerque, has a population of 500,000, but still feels like a small town, albeit one with cowboys with handbags and lizards for pets.
If I leave here tomorrow.
Hi, Bob.
Hello, Billy.
Great to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Do you mind if I show my people around your snakes?
Please do. Make yourself at home. Enjoy yourself.
I know nothing, but I'm pretending to be an expert here.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Just like the rest of my life. Let's go have a look at some snakes. See if you can see it first. Well, it moved, it's giving you a hint. It's a mottled rattlesnake, there it is. Isn't that amazing the way it's covered by those stones? The colour, the camouflage. See if you can see him. Isn't that stunning camouflage? So you see where the rattle comes in handy. You would never see that in a month of Sundays. There's one rattling. See the rattle coming up? It was rattling a second ago. You see, they're the most convenient of snakes. It's the only reptile, the only snake that'll tell you that it's there. And when it rattles, it means it's scared. It'll be quiet until you're right almost on top of it, and then it'll go stay back, stay back. And if at that point you stop and make your way back slowly, you'll be okay. But if you move sharply, you deserve what you get. Well, you don't deserve what you get, but...
Oh, life could be a dream. If I could take
The Rattlesnake Museum was fun. I'm not very fond of snakes, but I'm immensely fond of a snake that warns you that it's there.
Sweetheart, hello, hello again. Shaboom, and hoping we'll meet again. Oh, life could be a dream. If only all my precious plans would come true.
But I'm back on the road again, and I've got 300 miles to cover to get to my next stop. Payson, Arizona. It's a long way, but the sun is shining, the roads are straight. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Shaboom, shaboom. Yada-da-da-da-da-da-da. Shaboom, shaboom. Yada-da-da-da-da-da-da. Shaboom, shaboom. Yada-da-da-da-da-da.
That's my bike, and it's not well.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
In the last week, I've been lying in bed, a not well person. As you can see, there's a big hole in my jeans. Well, it's not just trendiness, that's a bandage. I busted up my knee and I broke a rib. I got my ass kicked on Route 66. I lost control of my trike, spun round, and the throttle jammed on. I had a special wee thing, a cruise control on my throttle, which I will never be using again. And I got stuck with it, my hand got stuck with it, and it went too fast, and I spun out of control and kind of somersaulted, and it bounced off me and broke my rib. Ambulance men came. Now this is a bit I love about America. They cut all my clothes off. Here's my t-shirt, look. That was my t-shirt. But then the bit I loved, 3 of the 5 ambulance men, or ambulance people, there was a woman there as well, were motorcyclists. And they cut my jacket off, this jacket, with big scissory things. But because they're motorcyclists, they understood. And they cut it up the seams. You can see where this bit's new here. The new material there. Well, that was cut up there. They cut it so it could be put together again, and it's been put together again magnificently. Isn't that a brilliantly thoughtful thing to do? That's what I love about America. They think about stuff like that.
You're so sweet. You're so fine. I want your all and everything just to be mine.
Thanks to my man of steel constitution and modern medicine's best painkillers, I'm back on the road. That's Connolly 1, Route 66, nil. Payson Rodeo, here I come. Woo-hee! If you're a wee boy in Britain, you grow up wanting to be one of 2 things, a rock star or a football player. In the cowboy states, they do it differently. Here you grow up wanting to do the equivalent of both, rodeo. If you can hold on to a ton of muscle for 8 seconds or more, you can have it all, the money, the women, and the hero worship. But at what cost? And is it worth it?
So you've been having fun out this way?
Yeah, I've never been to a rodeo before.
Never? Oh,
never.
Well, you're in for a treat. This is a great rodeo here.
It is?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna have fun.
Oh, I
you want to ride a bull tonight, huh?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I'd like to eat one. You've obviously got my message mixed up.
First we need to get on one, then we'll go eat one up at the Brothel.
I've seen you guys doing that to people before.
You know,
the old one glove trick. Try it on.
Yeah, I used to fight bulls for 30 years, and then 3 broken necks later, I had to quit. The thing about it is, 1,700 pounds. It's amazing how cat-like they are for as big as they are, because they're not a dumb animal. They get very smart.
Yes.
So after a while, if he fights you and he fights your cameraman there and he fights me and fights Ernie, he's seen his trick, his trick, his trick, his trick. Pretty soon it's like climbing in the ring with Muhammad Ali. You know, they get real smart in a hurry. Pretty soon, when you think you're wanting to go here, he's already set you up over here, you know. And now what are you going to do? Oh, yeah, they get, you know.
Your move was great there.
And they have intent, yes, sir. The further that he gets you pushed out, and the more that he doesn't stay bent like this and he gets you out here, then he's got that room to come and gather you, and that's when they knock you as high as a telephone pole there.
But that's so interesting.
Yeah, I've got to get some stuff together.
Great, what a joy talking to you. Oh, that was so educational, yeah. This is a hard, hard life. You travel hundreds of miles from town to town, then you have to pay to compete. And if you don't win, you don't get paid. It really is a hand-to-mouth existence. So why do it?
Beats the shit out of a real job.
You bet it does. You see, most people take up cycling, and driving cars.
That's a little boring.
And other things that you don't have to feed.
Hello.
Okay.
How are you? Are you competing?
Yes, I am.
What are you doing?
I'm running barrels, but I'm also the Scottsdale Rodeo Queen.
You're the Stockdale Rodeo Queen?
Yes, so I what's that?
How do you achieve that?
It's a pageant, so it's like
so it's because you're beautiful.
Hat on.
Yeah. Yeah, and you do the barrel stuff.
I do.
That's sensational to watch.
You want to try it?
No, I don't.
I'll let you get on.
No, thanks. No, I love to watch you doing it. I like the way you take the corners.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's possible to keep your horse balanced and do that.
Just ride it like you stole it.
So what's your specialty? Barrel riding?
Probably barrel racing, yeah. We rope a little bit too.
And you?
Barrel race mostly, but we rope.
You rope?
Oh yeah, we rope. I actually am a world champion team roper. Women.
Get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. No.
You are?
Get out yourself, yeah.
World champion. I don't meet many world champions. Can I say your hand?
Yeah. Me either.
But I was second.
Reserve.
I came in as close.
Oh, second?
Yeah.
Second in the world?
Yes.
I think that's pretty neat.
It was pretty good. It was
But please turn round. I want to see your shirt. Now that is a shirt. As time goes on, you start picking up on something. Everyone is saying less and less. It's getting tense. And that's when you realise that this is showbiz, but not as we know it. Oh my God! I know a few bouncers in Glasgow who would excel at this.
5 years old.
5 years of age. My God. Oh my God. What are they thinking about? Those rodeo folk, they're either heroically insane or insanely heroic. I really just can't make up my mind which. I'm making another detour, 150 miles north to the ancient and sacred home of the Navajo Indians, Monument Valley. It's a place I've dreamt of coming to since I was a wee boy going to cowboy movies, but nothing has prepared me for seeing it for the first time. And I don't think the painkillers are talking. This place really is monumental. Well, this is even better than I imagined it would be. No wonder they look on it as spiritually great. It's a funny thing, you know, when you see this kind of structure,
You always think of time, you know, it's been here for millions of years. And it lets you know that you're here but for a little second or two. You're just a little blip on the screen compared to them. The most remarkable thing about Monument Valley is how familiar it is. You think you've known it all your life because you've been sitting as a wee boy at the movies in Glasgow watching this John Wayne riding around in here. It is the most extraordinary place. This view here, I can't look at that without hearing music. My God, the number of times I rode through here when I was a child. I'd come out of the cinema and ride home on my horse up Highland Street. Smacking my own backside. Did you ever do that? After seeing a Western movie, run home doing that? It's extraordinary, the power that has exerted on us over the years, isn't it? But this place, I wish you were here, I wish you could see it. But you must never forget it's also a very sacred place to the Navajo. They've lived here for centuries. But Monument Valley is far more than the setting of 100 boyhood fantasies. To the Navajo, this is a sacred land, and they've lived here thousands of years. And while they're keen to embrace many of modern life's conveniences, there are some things like medicine and magic they still have faith in. So I'm putting myself in the hands of a real Navajo medicine man to see if he can do what modern medicine can't and mend my broken rib. I know nothing about the ceremony. The guy seems very nice. He speaks very little English. It's almost pure Navajo. And he's going to... I feel very privileged to be allowed to be part of it, you know. So here goes. Incidentally, you won't be seeing the ceremony, all of it. You'll see some of it until he said there's part of it he won't allow to be filmed in any way. It's very private and personal. I mean, we don't get naked or anything like that, but just he doesn't believe in sharing it with the world. It's theirs, and that'll do me. The medicine man's got sacred stones and things with special powers. He's going to use this feather to send a message back to where I crashed and cool the earth down. The crystal is like a prehistoric X-ray machine, and by looking into it, he should be able to see my fractured bone. The fire is made using cedar chips. It smells good, and the smoke is a libation. The whistle is kind of annoying, really. It's easy to be glib about this stuff when you're looking at it from the outside, but sitting here right in the middle of the magic is a mind bender. Notions of time and place really do start to shift. It's humbling and deeply spiritual. And what did they put in that fucking pipe?
Yo.
But ho-hum, the magic must go on.
Kiss-kiss-a-tiha. But-sana aigi. Bekin-dish-hit-a-little. Litsa-apati-do-little.
An hour later, and the drummers have arrived. The ceremony is drawing to a close.
Hand it horse.
Thank you.
Real?
you're all healed up and ready to roll again.
And just like that, it's over.
Hold back the night from us. Cherish the life for us.
I love all that stuff, you know. And it's not a question of whether you believe it or give yourself to it. It's you're in the company of people who do believe it, and that is the whole cheese for me. And it's all done with a real sincerity that I don't find with Western stuff. And it was a joy, an absolute joy. I'm really glad I did it. I must say my rib feels no different from what it did yesterday. But maybe it would have felt worse if he didn't. I tell you boys, it's heaven, just riding down the trail, just to watch that desert sun go down, just to watch that desert sun go down. We're all cowboys now. I'm here for Route 66, the most famous road in the world. How many other roads do you know that people sing about? And it's just one of those magical places that you always long to see. Ever since I was a wee boy in Glasgow, I fantasised about getting my kicks on Route 66.
Oh my God!
To me, it was a magic trail heading west through the heart of America into the land of broken dreams and Hollywood endings. The highway that built a continent, defined a nation, running from Chicago to LA. Route 66 is the story of America written by the people for the people. Over 8 states and 2,500 miles.
I love that.
It's a tale in tarmac of presidents and paupers, cowboys and Indians, diners and drive-thrus, framed in a landscape from 100 movies with the soundtrack of the greatest music in the world, rock and roll. Sounds good, doesn't it? Isn't it good? We're going to have lots of fun, meet lots of people, see lots of nice things. Come with me. I can't wait.
Well, it goes from St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri. Oklahoma City looks so pretty, you see. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Warsaw, San Bernardino. Won't you get your kicks on Route 66?
It's the final leg of my Route 66 road trip, and I'm going to show you the deepest... I must be off my bloody head. The biggest... Whoa! The oddest... Makes a great tinkly noise. And the cutest sights the Mother Road has to offer. But there's even more to it than that. I'm going to find the true spirit of America. Oh! Starting just outside of Flagstaff, I'm going to follow the final footsteps of 1 million migrating dreamers up into the remote mountain passes of Arizona, through the California deserts and the urban sprawls of LA, until finally I hit the Pacific Ocean. But hey, that's miles down the road. I'm somewhere in Arizona between the towns of Winslow and Flagstaff, and have I got a treat for you? Well, some of you. I'm going to show you something here, and it's going to have a profound effect in your house. The men are going to go, ooh, interesting. And the women are going to lose the will to live and go, oh, so what? It's a hole. It's a hole in the ground. Now, the reason I say this is in my life, I have met thousands of men, all of whom at one point had got a stick and sat in the ground and dug a hole. between the legs, dug a wee hole for no reason whatsoever. And no woman I know has ever done this. Holes separate men from women, interest in holes. But this is a spectacular hole. Come this way. How do you fancy that one? It's 750 feet deep and 4,000 feet across. If it was an arena, the audience would be 2 million people. I know you were desperate to know that and had made wild guesses before I said it. You're probably saying, why are you telling us this? Because this was created in a more spectacular fashion by a meteorite 150 feet across, they reckon. And with the power of 20 million tons of TNT, it came flying out the sky one day and belted this place right there. Bosh, like a nuclear explosion. If you like holes in the ground, it's well worth a visit, guys. There's a shop here. I'd better not say that. Send your wife to the shop. That was just a sexist joke. Personally, I like the shop. I'm going in there to buy a keyring and a badge for my grandchildren. But the guys, you will love this hole and you will dream of sitting on the edge with a stick having accomplished this. It's a smashing thing, and it's one of Route 66's highlights. Funny enough, they reckon it's Route 66's second biggest highlight, and the biggest highlight's also a hole, but it's an even more spectacular hole. But before I show you that, I need to drive to a wee spot overlooking Flagstaff. I've got a few thoughts that I'd like to share with you.
While the city was busy, we wanted to rest. She decided to drive up to Observatory Crest.
That's Flagstaff, Arizona. Now, it's a big city, but you would think it was a village just to look at it because of the lack of light from being up on the hill looking down at it. And the reason for that is, in 1894, Sir Percival Lowell, the astronomer, set up an observatory here. And it was at his observatory they discovered Pluto, and it really put this place on the celestial map. Now, if you look at the planets like the sun and the moon and the stars and all that, they resemble a basic atomic structure with a nucleus and protons and neutrons and electrons spinning round it. It's exactly the same thing. So I think what we've got wrong over the years is thinking that we were at the big end of the telescope. We're actually at the wee end. We're not huge in the cosmos. We're a tiny, tiny, microscopic, tiny, weeny, the smallest thing you can imagine. And we're part of something huge. I've come to the conclusion we're part of a big cup of tea in space. And that's the way I look at the world, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why I'm in Flagstaff, Arizona tonight. I'm off to catch a train. It's a little detour off route, but when one of the 7 wonders of the world is at the other end of the tracks, you can't just pass it by. This is Williams, Arizona, named after Bill Williams, a trapper and hunter. It's nice to have your town named after a trapper and hunter. I was hoping it was named after Hank Williams, but then I'm disappointed quite a lot. The train leaves here for the Grand Canyon. I've never been here before. I can't wait, quite frankly, to see the biggest hole in the ground in the world. It's a real choo-choo. And this beast, which usually would run in coal, steaming and fire and flaming through the night, runs in vegetable oil. And they get it from the restaurants in town. Isn't that extraordinary? Leave the stuff from the chip shop and all that. Runs this monster.
All right, y'all, let's roll.
That's more like it.
Look at me, I'm a train on a track. I'm a train, I'm a train, I'm a train.
Rodeo!
Yeah.
Rodeo. Yeah. Train stuff.
Look at me, got a load on my back. I'm a train, I'm a train, I'm a train, yeah. Look at me, I'm going somewhere. I'm a train, I'm a train, I'm a train, yeah. Look at me, I'm going somewhere. I'm a train, I'm a train, I'm a train, yeah. Been a hard day's ahead, been a hard day's ahead, I'm a train, I'm a chicken train, I'm a chicken train, I'm a train, I'm a chicken train, yeah.
I'm led to believe it's over here. And it's a mile deep, apparently. Oh my God. Whoa! I've never seen anything like that in my life. I've seen it, been there, done it. I'm going to get the t-shirt.
I just had a tumbleweed there, did you see it?
Train a ride.
One of the small but marvellous pleasures of riding Route 66 is the trains. Cruising alongside a half-mile-long train in the open desert is an unexpected and completely childlike joy. The only thing that could make it better would be seeing a hobo in an open crate. But I think maybe those sights may well be a thing of the past. Now, you may have heard the expression, the wrong side of the tracks. She was born on the wrong side of the tracks, or he spent too much time on the wrong side of the tracks. Here's what it means. These are the tracks. You get this a lot in America, where the railway track crosses the street. Over there would be the wrong side of the tracks. Over here would be the people who had bought land. That's the right side of the tracks, the settlers. Over there were the lowlifes and the people who had no money. Well, wander with me over to the wrong side of the tracks, if you will. I don't know if you can see from here. There's a building that red windows with a kind of blue awnings. That is called the Red Garter. That was a brothel, the fun house. Sometimes known as a nothing house or a bordello. And that's what made it the wrong side of the tracks for some and the right side of the tracks for others. I've got a funny feeling it would have been on the right side for me. This is Memorial Day today when America remembers its military men from all different wars. They're waiting for a parade, obviously. See them? Americans just love a parade. I must say, I'm one of them. I love them too.
If you're a visitor here,
there's a true patriot here. How you doing?
How you doing, Billy? Good to see you.
Nice to see you,
Big
man.
fan of your work, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very nice of you. It would be so easy to be dismissive about this kind of flag-waving experience, especially with European eyes. But that's to miss the point. When you see a man in a parade dancing with a shovel full of shit, I don't think you need me to tell you that this is hardly a jingoistic display. But it is positive. There is pride and community, family in each other. And when did that become a bad thing to throw a parade for? But make no mistake, driving the 66, you really do get to see that times are hard in the heartlands of America. But what's interesting is to see how everyone deals with it. In Williams, they still throw parades. In Seligman, my next destination, they invite bikers to town and throw a three-wheel party.
That's for sale. This is your big chance to become a beautiful triker like me, like these nice people. Windswept and interesting. Is that you, Catfish Larry?
That's me.
What a great name.
I don't want to tell you the story. That's my rat right there, the yellow one.
Oh, this all yours is yours?
Yes.
It's a beauty.
It's been for sale for a while.
Why?
I'm living on Social Security disability. Can't afford everything. I got a boat, a street bike, and a dirt bike, and I need to sell something so I can live for the next 6 or 8 months.
Why not sell the other ones?
Well, I'll sell whichever sells first.
Yeah.
I'd like to get rid of the boat first, but well, it's been for sale for 2 years and I haven't had a bite yet.
2 years?
Yes. The economy, you can't sell anything, especially anything that burns gasoline.
Absolutely.
Well, I wish somebody'd come up with some cash. Yep, take the good with the bad, even live.
Yeah, tell me about Catfish Larry. Don't be shy.
No, I couldn't tell the story. It wouldn't be able to be broadcast.
I did find out why he was called Catfish Larry, by the way. And he's right, it isn't suitable for broadcast. I've got an appointment with the barbers, but not for a haircut, oh no. I'm going to meet a real-life angel of sorts. He may not be a celestial being, but he does know this road better than anyone else.
And they call me Angel.
Yeah, I know they call you Angel. It's a great name.
How's that?
It's a wonderful name.
Thank you, thank you. My parents thought so, and I've got used to it over the years.
But you've seen all the changes here, haven't you?
I've seen, in 84 years, I've seen a lot of changes.
Yeah, you've seen the people go to California, the poor people coming back
I
here.
saw the Dust Bowl days when the so-called Okies traveling on Route 66 when it was dirt.
Yeah.
Then I saw all our service boys during the World War II. Then I saw the day that this town died for 10 long years.
Was that when the interstate came? Yeah.
September 22nd, 1978, at about 3 in the afternoon, the business community died for just like that. They forgot to put up signs out of Flagstaff that said Seligman, Arizona, 68 miles.
So you ceased to exist?
Now we're getting down to the brass tacks. We were raped. The state bypassed us, and they didn't even have any signs. After 10 years, I got angry.
Good on you.
After the town died, Angel wasn't willing to take it lying down. He relentlessly argued with local and state legislators for Route 66 to be given historic status. And he refused to give up until his demands were met. So around here they call him the godfather of Route 66.
When your government speaks, listen, they mean business. Well, I meant business too when I says the highway is still here and it's not dead. It's we, the people, that helped to save, I like to say, a little bit of history.
Yes.
On Route 66, it's real America is family. There's my daughter, Mirna.
Very nice.
My other daughter, Clarissa, also works here. Right?
Billy Connolly.
And Mauricio.
Hello, my darling. Nice to meet you.
Billy, we have so much fun here, and we make a living.
It's just a joy to meet the real America, you know, and that I always knew existed. But it's lovely to have proof of it, you know. But these people don't even know what America looks like. They go,
Exactly.
yeah, they... She's signed Seligman. I've been there.
They're beginning to slow down to smell the roses.
Yes.
They're beginning to.
And the economy is making them do it too. The economy is making them take their time. You know, you can't just load up with gas any old time you like and zip across the country. You have to take your time, and lo and behold, you find good things. It was there all the time, if only you'd known. It's been a real pleasure, Angel.
Billy, you make me so happy.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
The fact that you're going to tell
millions
of people about we the people here. And you know,
we will lose a few because I play the banjo. Thank you all.
Thank you.
It's one hell of a legacy Angel has left. He not only brought a road back to life, he gave countless communities all the way to Chicago and back to LA the one thing that had been taken from them: hope. I'm heading to Peach Springs, where one very industrious motel owner has embraced the lead of Angel and opened up a room to rent that has to be seen to be believed. See you in the morning. Down we go. We're down 220 feet. I must be off my bloody head. We're here. Follow me. Now hold on to your hollyhocks, because I'm going to spend the night in the world's deepest motel room. It's an extraordinary place. The sheer size of it is odd. The John F. Kennedy in 1962 declared these caves bomb shelters when everybody was all scary-wary and thinking that the Russians were going to kill it. It was a Cuban Missile Crisis. They stored food down here. Look at this. This is my room.
And say, all right, love is kind of crazy with a spooky little boy like.
2 double beds, nice Route 66 couch furniture, have a telly, all sorts of National Geographic magazines to remind me what the world upstairs looks like. This is my shower and this is my toilet. Nothing scary in it. This is how you flush it. And then there's a wee... It's all very basic. My goodness, what have I got myself into? All in all, a tasty little bachelor pad. And that's my room. Good night. I'm going to bed. I've got a theory. There's a reason why so many other nations moan about America. It's because they think Americans are spoiled. I mean, think about it. Most kids just want a dog or a cat as a pet. In America, they want tigers and lions, and the amazing thing is, they get them. The real issue, though, is what happens to all those man-eating pets once the parents realise that their precious wee bundles are about to become Kitty's lunch? Well, if they're lucky, they take a ride on Route 66 and come to Jonathan Kraft's Keepers of the Wild Sanctuary on the outskirts of the romantically named town, Valentine.
The problem, obviously, particularly with the big cats, is it's a huge business in the United States. It's a $15 billion illegal trade, and there's more animals, 15,000 big cats in private hands in the United States alone.
That's breathtaking.
Sultan, come here.
Oh, my God.
Get over here. Come and meet Billy.
The size of...
We rescued him along with another tiger. And he's about 10 years old, and that's right in the middle of when male lions are very dangerous. They have a lot of testosterone, and I used to go in and brush his mane. I don't do that anymore now. He'll be brushing mine, you know. Come on. What a good boy. Come on.
Oh,
gives you a little bit of an idea of the real size of these boys.
It just baffles me.
Yeah.
I don't know how somebody could think they could keep a thing like that in the backyard.
Yeah, and plenty of them do. Plenty of them do. I know people, private individuals, got 30, 40 cats in their backyards. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And then, of course, the neighbor's kid comes over and does a little, you know, touchy-feely, and the next thing you know, the kid loses their arm or their fingers, and then it's the animal's fault. You know, It happens all the time.
Prior to having his own Damascus-like epiphany about the rights and wrongs of domesticating wild animals, Jonathan used to have his own hirsute big cat show in Las Vegas. So if anyone knows about the dangers of keeping these magnificent beasts as pets, it's Jonathan.
That's Snickers. Hi, Snickers.
It's a llama.
Yeah, it's one of our llamas. And then here we're coming up to Monkey Village. This is Max and Lola, and these are... Oh, what's the matter, Lola? These are capuchin monkeys that everybody wants to own. Let me tell you something, you see the teeth? This little guy here bit his owner's girlfriend's ear off, and so it was either the monkey or the girlfriend. I know what I would have done. But they're adorable, but they are nasty, they are dirty. And then, you know, they urinate in their hand and they rub it all over themselves. And
I do that sometimes.
Oh, you do? Well, then here's this lion I'm going to introduce you to, Billy.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
what a lovely thing.
This little guy is 10 weeks old now. What? Do you want to eat?
Hello.
And he came from a zoo, and he was sold and illegally, no paperwork, traveled all over the country when he was 2.5 weeks old.
Oh.
Are you hungry? Is that what it is? You want me to get you a bottle? Huh? You want me to get you a bottle? Oh. Is that what you want? There you go. That's much better, huh?
That's wonderful, my God.
If you want to feed him.
What's his name?
Anthony.
It's a terrible, noble name for such a little guy.
I know. See, now he gets possessive. Look at those claws coming out, huh? See, look at that, look at that.
Oh, I see. What a beauty.
Isn't he great?
Anthony. See you later, Anthony.
Oh, look at it. Look. Ah. Yeah,
You're doing a grand old job here.
Well, thank you.
Look how much they like you. It's amazing.
You're a good boy, huh? Yes, you're a good boy.
It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm feeling good.
When you ride Route 66, you don't just travel across miles, you travel back in time. This mountain pass that runs the border between California and Arizona has remained unchanged since the Great Depression. When Steinbeck's Okies, fleeing the drought in Oklahoma, filled this road with heaving cars and trucks, what must they have thought? after a lifetime spent on the Great Plains, to find themselves so high they could, in the words of the great Mr. Hendricks, kiss the sky. I'd like to think they were awestruck, but the reality is they were probably just too tired and hungry to care.
Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me.
In California, that's the last state. We're in the true West now. So here we are, my last night on the road. Tomorrow is the big push to LA County. After that, no more motel beds or cups of tea in 24-hour diners. I've got desert to the left of me, desert to the right, desert in front and desert behind. This is the California of rock and roll minstrels and wayfaring wastrels that any self-respecting Glasgow hippie in the 60s would have longed to see. With all this space to lose yourself in, how could you not turn on, tune in, drop out?
I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out.
The only thing missing in this picture is Jim Morrison tripping with the Doors. Not to worry though, because I've got something far groovier to show you. As the great William Shakespeare said, all that glisters is not gold. But he had obviously never met Elmer Long, the creator of Route 66's most magical plot of land, the Bottle Tree Ranch.
Hello.
Billy Connolly, how
Billy?
pleased to meet you.
Glad to know you.
I love your garden.
Ah, thank you.
It's an enchanted forest, isn't
Well,
it?
that's something.
Yeah, could you think you could give me a wee look round it?
Sure.
Thanks, I would really love that. I think it's astonishing.
Some of these bottles my father collected. He was
Yeah.
he was a bottle collector, but he had no way of displaying it.
Well, what was your father's idea when he collected the bottles? He just liked them.
I believe he thought he was going to get rich. I really do. He would dig a hole in the ground, maybe 5 foot deep, digging up bottles. And when he found an old one, he honestly thought he had a gold mine in his hand. He did, but...
Well, sometimes you do.
Yeah, well, it didn't work out that way.
I love it.
Yeah.
I would love to live here. I love the constant noise too.
Yeah. There's a story there. You see it with a hole?
With the board with the hole,
Yeah,
that's like stalks.
That's not a stalk.
What is it?
That's a toilet seat.
Oh my God. Well, of course, in the lid.
Yeah.
What's that from?
Boxing bell.
It's a boxing bell.
Yes. There's guns.
Where do you find guns?
Well, I picked this one up in Arizona. There's another gun there. That's a shotgun.
Oh, yeah. Are you interested in guns that work?
No, I have no use for working guns. I don't kill anything. Nothing dies.
That's wonderful.
No, everything lives here.
Some treasure hunters sift the bottom of the oceans looking for doubloons and barnacle-crusted chests. Elmer finds his riches in landfills and dumps.
I found where the Baghdad dump was. The only thing left in that dump is dirt and a few beer bottles. I cleaned it out. I cleaned it out.
How do you go about finding dumps?
The wife and I travel on weekends. We go out and...
Is she as keen as you are?
Nah, yes, but she's not into this like I am.
if we go out and I find a place, she'll usually just stay in the truck and read a book.
And let you rummage around.
I'll do all the work. But she likes to go on the trips.
That's lovely.
Yeah. There's no money in it. It's all free.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I had a couple of ladies from Mexico come here, a mother and a daughter. The daughter had an 8-year-old son with her. And before they left, the grandma, she gave me a hug, and her daughter immediately gave me a hug. Now, if you was to compare going to a mine and excavate a vein of gold and take it to the bank and get rich, that's one thing. But little hugs like that coming from people from another country, that's pure gold, and you don't put that in a bank, you put it in your heart, you know? And,
you got it.
You got it. That's the key here.
Well, look, thank you so much for your time. I've really, really enjoyed it.
Sure.
I like Elmer, a man who made his own American dream come true, and that's what this road is all about. The pursuit of the American dream in the state that promised it all. Beaches, pools, good neighbours, flash cars and eternal youth. And it's that dream that still draws millions to California to this day, making it the most populated state in America. And nearly all of them here in LA County. 88 separate cities with no space between them.
And you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife. And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
But even here, in the heart of a concrete rat race, you still find fairy tales in the most unexpected of places. This is the California Theatre in San Bernardino, California. And I'm standing in the middle of the road about to be killed. But they used to try out movies here in the 30s. Before, you know, big fancy premieres, they would try them out in places like San Bernardino. And they tried Wizard of Oz out here. And the people adored it, the audience. But the executives from MGM didn't like it. They said, that terrible song slows it down, that's Somewhere Over the Rainbow. The director disagreed and went straight to Louis B. Mayer. And being a genius, he said, nonsense, and kept it in. And it won an Oscar. So much for executives, eh? It's Art Deco, if you like that kind of thing. Welcome to LA, an olive of a city. Until you get the taste for it, you hate it, but once you do, you love it. After all that, you think I'd be heading off to the Hollywood Hills. Instead, I'm heading to a garage in the slightly less glamorous suburb of Pomona. Because Los Angelinos love their cars, I mean, this is a city that gave birth to hot rods, where car fanatics would turn rusting heaps into dream machines and race them on LA strips on Friday and Saturday nights. Just like rock and roll, everyone thought it was a passing fad, but 70 years on from their inception, they're more popular than ever. So I'm heading off to meet 3 generations of one family who have devoted themselves to building hot rods and lowrider cars. Hello.
Mario Diablo Jr., nice to meet you.
Great.
Hi, Greg Diablo, nice to meet you.
Who are you?
Greg.
Oh, you're Greg,
Yes.
and you're Mario.
Mario Jr.
Mario Jr., where's Mario Sr.?
Mario Sr. is right inside.
Oh, you're Mario Sr.?
Yes, sir.
How do you do, Billy Connolly?
Thank
What a
you.
pleasure to meet you.
Same here.
This is the man that taught us all of what we know.
You taught them everything?
Yeah, we even have our kids involved with it also, with the bicycles. These are our next generation right here.
Oh.
So down to the grandkids.
Oh, did you do this?
Yeah, this is our work.
Oh, look at these.
My practice.
Oh, what a bicycle. God, when I was that size, I would have died for a bike like that.
Make them look as nice as the parents' cars.
Oh, they're beautiful.
This is my son, Nathan Dialba.
Oh, yeah?
And this is my other son, Greg Jr. Dialba. And this is Mario Dialba Jr.
Oh my gosh.
Mario's, yeah, actually, yeah, Mario Diablo the Third, because you got Mario Senior, Mario Junior, and Mario the Third. All generations of lowriders here. We can't take our eyes off of these guys because right away they're into something trying to fix, and very creative, these little guys. I wonder where they get it from.
But I've come here to see one car in particular. It's called El Padrote, which means the pimp. I just hope it lives up to its name. Oh! Oh, look at the paint job on the firewall. That is breathtaking. I can't take my eyes off it. I'll look at you for a little while, my eyes just straight.
It's like a beautiful woman, isn't it?
It's a big candy apple.
It's sexy.
It's magnificent, isn't it? But if you think it looks wild, wait till you see it move. That is, what a piece of work.
He's having fun.
Not everybody has a dad like that.
There's always more to learn, and we inspire each other every day. That's the cool thing about working with family. It is amazing.
I am so proud that you guys like what I like, and you want to learn more and more.
I think I'm going to cry.
That's what I did.
I'm going to cry.
It's a touching moment.
No.
Tell them again you love them.
Oh, I sure love my sons, of course.
It's magnificent. You should be justifiably very, very proud of it. It's the best car I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it, because I like it myself.
I like car culture. I like Route 66. I do not like this. With almost twice as many cars as there are people, LA is the most congested city in the world.
I think there's an accident up ahead here.
Not in the least surprised. There's some lunatics out there. If you think you've got it bad during your commutes to work, spare a thought for the native Angelino who spends at least 3 days of every year stationary in traffic jams.
Yeah, this is one of the toughest freeways in the world in the afternoon commute. The Santa Monica Freeway. At night, it'll look like a slow-moving river of lava.
That's exactly what it looks like. And the one person who knows about this insanity better than almost anyone else is my chopper pilot, traffic reporter Chuck Street.
Yeah, they call this area the largest open-air asylum. I'll usually say something like the misery level is high this morning on the Santa Ana Freeway, or there's a lot of teeth gnashing on the freeway.
So how did you get into flying helicopters from being a DJ?
Well, I was fascinated with radio and helicopter flying, and I was able to put it together as a traffic reporter, but I actually got my job as a traffic reporter by flying up alongside Rick D's 19th floor radio studio window with a topless girl.
Oh, no.
Seriously, and he went nuts. And they hired me 3 days later, so I've been doing it now for 27 years.
Do you remember about 15 years ago the bear that kept showing up away in the outskirts in the hills there and sitting in the people's jacuzzi?
Yeah, he would come down from the San Gabriel Mountains, and then the bear would climb over the fence, and like you say, he would get into the jacuzzis.
And then they'd helicopter him in a net away. And then 3 weeks later, he'd be back in the jacuzzi.
Only in Los Angeles.
I love the colorful clothes she wears and the way the sunlight plays upon her hair.
I've driven well over 3,000 miles, and now it all comes down to this: 20 miles. In 20 miles, I'll hit the ocean, and Route 66 will simply end. Nowhere left to go. And that'll be it. Done. I honestly didn't know what to expect after that wee signpost in Chicago. The America of my childhood fantasies is gone, if it ever existed, but there's still enough cowboys, roadside giants, and big sloppy burgers to make your heart sing.
Oh my God, it's delicious.
I can tell you this: 150 years after the Civil War, America is still a country divided by politics and race, but most of all by money.
I'm trying to liquidate stuff.
But the real revelation of this journey has been this land, this amazing place populated with a people who look beyond all that nonsense and have a character every bit the equal of the landscape, bright and optimistic, no matter the circumstances.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you more.
It's been long, it's been hard.
Oh, bollocks.
But most of all, it's been fun.
It is I.
And yes, I laughed a lot. Like all journeys, the things that stay with you are the most unexpected. Riding a buggy with a father, watching a light show in a cave, and standing in a field surrounded by the most beautiful light from the most touching memorial I've ever seen. My abiding memory, though, is the empty towns, the abandoned gas stations, and all that space in between. Route 66 isn't just a road, it's a dream, and for some, those dreams just didn't come true. But for millions of others, they did. They got this glorious, perfect Hollywood sunset. Don't say I don't take you anywhere. You should do it. Route 66. It's like life. Complicated, but well worth the effort.
I like doing it. I like my crew. I like my trike. And I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad it's finished, and I'm sad it's finished. See you later.
I know